We end up texting it bad. She like twisting my hair. PC, we search the web. Gotta make sure we fed, or else she gon' be fed. We do take out instead. Don't know what got us here. Strangers stop and they stare. Oh yeah, we well aware that they be hella scared.
Tryna hold my composure, never pose as no poser. Always stand like a soldier. Every day we get older. Dust that weight off my shoulder. The return of the solar. Never sell out sure. Hustle your soul over. Used to cop on Wyona. Now I sip on Coronas. But I'm a fucking stoner. I'm in a coma. They could smell the aroma. This should be moving slow-mo. They be loving the logo. Rocking it like it's polo.
Wave. My ISO game hella strong, yeah. It's just me, myself, and I, yeah. Put up problems to the sky, yeah. Wave. I tend to keep it low key. I got a shorty, she sweet. She falls through the crib with the tree. And she got me open, she wet like the ocean. We off for the potion, it's neat. We vibing, we floating, it feel like I'm chosen. It's feeling explosive. Just booked me a show and it sent me the quota like sheesh. Yeah. Okay, on the red, that's me speaking this to existence. It's look like I'm in a position of raking and killing from killers. I pivot, I'm making these moves to take it all in, I envision this. When I was a kid, still on the same shit. Work hard for my ends, put on for the family, take nothing for granted. This shit is a blessing, but also a curse. I maneuver aware of the cancers. I'm off of that clout that I'm taking the seed, and I sprouted the plants to grow, and then watch the bandwagon be crowded.
Alright guys, welcome to my first ever YouTube live stream. The whole goal of this is to get some live conversation going. You know, I do Q&As every single week on Instagram, but I think that live flow works a lot better. You can ask follow-up questions, you can ask questions on specific topics, so I think it's going to work really, really well. I set up all day yesterday on OBS, so the stream should run real smooth, but if anything's happening, let me know. You know, if there's anything that needs to be fixed, if the music's too loud, not loud enough, if you just hate it, tell me and I'll put something else on. Let's get started, I guess. I'm pretty nervous for this one, actually. It's a little bit different to my usual Instagram style. But I just want some casual conversation. I'll end it. I've got a few lifts I want to show you from some lifters that have, you know, set some PBs recently. We had a really big bench press done in Australia today. So I'm really excited to show you that before I sign off. I don't mind how long this goes for. Obviously, I want interaction. I can't just sit here for 20 minutes not talking. But I do want to, you know, answer any questions you have. So let's get going. Let the questions roll in, or anything you want to talk about. If there's anything you want to show me specifically, like on YouTube or online, you can send the link in the chat, I'm pretty sure. If not, just DM it to me on Instagram and we'll have a look. I can see there's a few of you watching, so I'll just wait for questions to roll in. I've been wanting to do these for ages though. Hey, like, the pre-made content's really good, but answering questions and everything is always a lot of fun. I really like doing that. Here, I've got a few people sending me messages now. Oh, here we go. My online coaching. Yeah, it works pretty simple, so it depends on what the person wants. I don't do nutrition stuff, but for the online coaching, I charge $65 a week. You get, you know, all your sessions given to you, obviously. So I'll do, you know, I'll give you 4 to 6 weeks at a time, depending on how long your block is. You'll upload videos for all your main lists and any accessories that we talk about and ask for. And then after that, you get reviews from me on every session, and we do Zoom calls once every 2 to 4 weeks, depending how often you need it. Some people, the longer they're with me and when they're not in comp prep, we tend to do Zoom calls every 6 to 8 weeks, but that's how it tends to work for myself. Let me just turn this music down for myself. It's quite loud. Yeah, so, you know, it's really chill, a lot of messaging through WhatsApp and everything like that. I like to be really hands-on. I like a lot of communication. You know, I don't love chasing people up for videos and that, so I just say, send me everything. I'll tell you what I do and don't need for the future. You know, if you're interested at all, you can just hit me up on Insta or anything and we can get started. We can do a Zoom call, see if it fits what you want, and go from there. I really enjoy it though. Like, I love coaching in person, but online, you can make it really personal. Like, I know a lot of people that get video reviews once a month, once every 2 or 3 weeks. I charge $65, but I do like to do it weekly and stay in touch as much as possible. Communication is paramount for online coaching, just because you don't have access in person. You did your meal prep vid, 5K calories. How many meals do you break that down into? So, with my eating, I tend to break it down into 4 big meals, 1 little meal, which is generally I eat 5 packets of instant oats, and I throw in a couple snacks there, like a little bit of fruit, like dried fruit. I'm really frothing dried pineapples at the moment, and then just snacks throughout the day. When it gets up to about 6K calories, I might up it to 5 meals just to spread it out. If you're eating 4 really big meals, you're a little bit too full to spread that around like throughout the day. So if you eat 4 big meals, by the time the 3rd meal comes around, I'm too stuffed to eat that. So I break it into 5 smaller meals and I add more snacks, right? Things like crackers, maybe a little bit more dried fruit, although I try to keep the sugar goal pretty low. And then I add in things like, dextrose while I'm training just to bump those carbs up. It's a really easy way to get 50 to 100 carbs without actually filling you up at all. So that's how I do it. I just spread it out as much as I can. You don't need to eat 6 or 8 meals. There's this whole thing where people try to eat, 6 or 8 meals a day. I think it's overkill. I also don't like eating every 2 hours. It just gets in the way with coaching and life. So I just spread it out to 4 or 5 and then just graze throughout the day. When I'm doing work with online clients, I'll just sit here with, this is something Mickey, I work with her for my nutrition. I just sit there with a bowl of dried fruit and crackers and I just graze on that all day, especially on days like today when I've sat at the computer most of the day, except for a couple of walks I did. Really easy to get the calories in. That's a good question though. Keep them coming, guys. Any follow-up questions? Anything you want to know about me or Danny or my life in general is free game here. I'm a pretty open guy. You'll see on my Instagram. I don't really hide anything. I'm an open book. I like sharing. I'm not shy, so. How's that music going for everyone? Is it loud enough? Sorry if you can hear my heavy breathing. I'm quite nervous. While there's no big influx of questions, we had Andrew Cooper today. He's an Aussie lifter up in Queensland, trains at Zero Weakness. What's that question? There we go. So he benched 300 today, Australia's first 300 kilo bench. I'll show you that real quick, and then I'll get to Sheen Kovac's question here. Here we go. This 300 kilo bench is just absolutely ridiculous, done by Andrew Cooper today. He's coached by Thomas Lilly up in Queensland. Zero, Thomas, Zero is his gym, Zerow. Produces so many strong athletes. It's ridiculous. 300 kilos. I've never seen someone be able to just push through a bench like that. That is outstanding. Amazing. He missed the second as well and then came back and got it on the third. So it was really, really good, to come back from a big miss like that and come and smash 300. Like, that's 661 pounds. That's a big squat. That's a big deadlift, let alone having that on your chest and benching it. Like, my all-time goal would be, say, 260 would be awesome for me for bench. So the thought of putting 300 kilos on your chest and pressing it is ridiculous. All right, more questions. Who's more excited for the wedding, you or Danny? Well, Danny, naturally. I tend to not focus too far in the future, or I try not to. So I'm really excited, but Danny's constantly thinking about it and planning it, which is awesome. And that brushes off on me. But, if she wasn't so excited, nothing would really get done because I'm pretty poor at planning stuff. But I am, don't let me take that away. I'm very, very excited for it. Super excited to be able to call her my wife. What are the main side effects from PEDs? Scott Dent asked. All right, so there's not just one thing of main side effects. Like, it depends what you take, how much you take, and it's super individual. Some people can run compound A and go on a long time and not get side effects at all. Some people can run that same compound at half the dose and just be hit with a lot of sides. In general, things you see, in the immediate future, like, things that are pretty acute, things like acne, hair loss are pretty common, like holding water, bloating, those kind of things, heart rate increase, blood pressure, they're all very, very common for most people that do use them. And then long term, that just comes down to, what you abuse, how much you abuse it. So things like, left ventricular hypertrophy, kidney issues because of blood pressure. Liver issues aren't as common because the liver's pretty good at self-regenerating and healing itself. But there's so many. I think, I didn't mention fertility because most people can bounce back from that. But again, it's just, luck of the draw, how you manage things, how much you take, and just comes down to the individual, honestly. Should Kovacs go in Kappa or GPC now that he has gone to the dark side and used wraps? All right. I'm pretty sure he is going to do some GPC comps because of the wraps and the mono, but that's up to him. It's something we've talked about. I love a mono, so I think he'll be going GPC because that's one of the biggest feds where he lives. But it's also not for me to answer for him. Blockmaster 1000 asked, how's the support from your family with your weightlifting? Also, are you an only child? If you do have siblings, do they weightlift like you or anything similar? So my family is super supportive. They love what I do. They're always there for my goals. They watch all my competitions. I just told them last week or this week about my quad tan. They were all shattered, constantly messaging me to follow up, seeing how the quad is, seeing if I got my ultrasound. My mum's busting my balls to get the ultrasound. So, they're really supportive, and most of them have been from day one. I'm very, very lucky. I couldn't ask for a better support system in my family, friends, and like Denny. She's absolutely amazing, as you'd see from a lot of my videos. As far as am I only child? No, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 siblings. None of them are into lifting. My older brother was into lifting for a while back in the day, but he is more into motorbikes now. He's into walking and hiking, and then my other siblings aren't really into sports that much. My sister likes to be active, but she's not a power lifter or anything. And my younger brother, one of my younger brothers is 15, so, he's just into video games and stuff. My younger sister's like 7 or 8, so she's not in the gym. And then my brother that's 24, he's had a few health issues that limit him from lifting heavy, so he would love to lift really, really heavy, but it's just not in the cards for him because of a few health issues he had as a child. So he can't load heavy weight. So as much as he'd love to, he can't. No one else really does. I'm actually the only lifter in my family, and the only one that's ever been a lifter in my family. Like, it kind of came out of nowhere as a teenager. I think I was just watching, Ronnie Coleman videos, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's going to be me one day. And then, the rest is history. But family, super supportive. Siblings, super supportive. None of them do it, though. Goals for Steve Lifts asks, thanks, mate. He asked about the online coaching. He said goals for 2021, 2022 for yourself, both lifting and other stuff. So, I don't like to name actual lifts, but at Pro Raw, anywhere from 1,030 to, if I had the perfect day, like 1,060, 1,070 would be sick. I'll probably be in the higher 120s. I don't want to go over 130 for it because that puts me a bit more out of range for the 125 class. But that's goals for lifting this year, and next year, just adding to that. The thing is, at this level, you miss one lift, right? Like, you drop a deadlift, you miss a squat, and there's 20 kilos off your total. So that turns 1,070 to 1,050 real quick, right? But they're my more immediate goals. I mean, that's in November. That's assuming I don't get injured or anything. Next year, like I said, just building on that, continue to chip away at hook grip. Other goals, though, I've got a lot going on in my life right now. So other goals are to continue to build the gym. It's been a really, really rough year for Melbourne businesses. I mean, it's been a rough year for everyone Australia-wide, but, we've had our gym closed for altogether probably close to 9 months now since March last year. So we took a bit of a hit there. Now, our growth, we've still grown and we still have a lot of members and everything, but that was a really, really big hit for us. It stunts growth. Like, the whole 9 months you're closed, you can't really add members. So continuing to chip away at that, adding equipment in that is really important. And then the big one is as long as Danny's family can get here and my family can get here, we both have a lot of family overseas. Getting married in October next year is the big goal, and that's something I'm really focused on. It's something we're both excited about, and that's what we really want to do. Next question. How's the quad going, Mr. Yeti? What are you doing to get movement in? So the quad's going all right. Like, it actually feels good. I had a little bit of pain walking down the stairs today, but it's healed really, really fast. I did feel a pop when I was squatting, but that could have been the wrap. It could have been just movement through my quad or anything. I did feel a pop. There was a lot of pain for the first 2 or 3 days, but that subsided really, really quick. So I'm going to try to get my ultrasound tomorrow, if they let me in, and worst case Tuesday, and we'll know what we're dealing with. I do plan to squat tomorrow, nice and light, just for some reps in sleeves. So it's gone really well. At the moment, I'm just walking a lot, and I'm doing things like goblet squats, leg extensions, and that, just to get blood flowing through it, get the muscle moving, and aid in recovery like that. I think it was Luke Smith. We had him on the podcast when we were running out on the Apex Strength Cast, and what did he say? Don't quote me, but it was something like, if your solution is inactivity, then you don't have a solution at all. So it's really important, unless you've torn something off the bone, obviously talk to your physio and everything. It's really important to be proactive and get moving as much as you can, as soon as you can. I mean, I was just watching that Callum von Moga documentary last night, and when he got his bicep tendon reattached, it was like 3 or 4 days that had him starting to stretch to like a 45-degree angle. So movement is really, really important, and that's something I really focused on this week, just getting movement through it and walking. Kobe asks, have you got any family backing you up? Because I know that helps a lot with motivation. Yep. Like I said earlier, my family is super supportive. They're all in my corner all the time. They have been from day one. I remember my old man, my first competition was actually in England. I lived in England for a couple years back in the day when I was 21. And he drove 5.5 hours before getting on a flight interstate, overseas actually, for work. So family is super supportive. They watch all my comps, and anytime I'm injured or just that saying, if I bleed, they bleed with me. So I've got an awesome support system, and it does help a lot. Honestly, they keep me motivated, and I want to do it for them as much as me, because they've invested so much time. They've invested money. When I was really, really broke, back when we first opened Apex, my income was really low, and my family, my brother, my mum, everyone came out of the woodworks to make sure I could eat enough. And, while my diet wasn't great, because I had to be cheap, anytime I needed money, they'd help feed me, they'd help get petrol in the car so I'd go to the gym. So the support system through my family is just another level, and it's actually something I don't see a lot of other lifters have. It's kind of like, they're a power lifter, and that's kind of it for a lot of people. But my family gets really, really involved and helps wherever they can, so I'm very lucky. Sheen asks, nice and light, says, nice and light, he said 5x5 at 300. No, I am trying to listen to Will Crozier is my coach, so I'll just do whatever he says. So I'm probably thinking 175 to 225 for some reps, again, just to get moving. It's important, but we don't want to load it up early, especially until I have the ultrasound. Now, if the ultrasound says there's no grade 2 tear, then I'll be right into it. It is important, though, that you get these scans and stuff, right? And this is something I'm making a video on for next week, is even though I'm not in pain right now, pain isn't always a good indicator of something, 1, being wrong, or 2, something not being wrong, right? That's something people forget. When I tore my quad in 2016, it was a grade 2 tear. I had no bruising. I had a lot of pain, but no bruising. And most people are like, it's not really a quad tear, or it's not that bad. But the bruising just didn't show up for me, and it was still a grade 2 tear. And I re-tore that twice, because before I got it checked, I thought I was okay because the pain subsided. One time I re-tore it by clean and jerking. I think it was 140 kilos, like an idiot. And then the next time I re-tore it, like 2 weeks later, showing someone how to front squat 20 kilos. So just being proactive, and I'll do whatever coach says, as you should all the time. Other than your parents, what does your siblings think about your weightlifting? Do your more younger siblings look up to you? Yeah, like I said, they're all super supportive. Like, they've helped me out a lot, as much as, my parents and everything have. The only person that doesn't really get it is my grandparents, like my grandma. She's like, you're just a big guy. She just thinks I eat a lot and maybe go and do some curls. No, but my support's really good to them. They try to come to all the comps they can. Just like before, like they're really invested in my own lifting. Do my more younger siblings look up to? Yeah, I'd say so. Like, I mean, my younger brother, he's 24. He really wishes he could do what I do, but he can't. Like I said, he's had some medical issues. So I know he really does. And then my 15-year-old brother, yeah, we're pretty close. Like, I know he looks up to me a lot. Anytime he has an issue, he calls me. I don't think that's more so the lifting, though. I actually just think he really admires, you know, the business, the motivation that goes into it, and he just likes talking to me, and he also plays video games. So do I. So it's something we can connect on, but I don't think that has as much to do with the lifting as it does just being a bigger brother, right? He doesn't quite understand. He doesn't get it. I always ask him if he wants to lift, and he gives me a look like I'm an idiot. So, you know, he doesn't quite understand. These are all good questions, guys. I'm really enjoying this. Let me know what you think of the music and that. I got my royalty-free music going. We pay like $20 a month, and that's what we use for all our YouTube videos as well. So I won't get slammed with copyright issues. So we've got Sheen in the chat. I actually got him up here. Sheen Kovacs, right? He's one of my lifters. We've been together a year and a half, 2 years now. And he squats 305 in sleeves, benches 180-ish, and deadlifts, well, he just deadlifted 317, and I wanted to show everyone that. So keep the questions coming, and in the interim, I'm going to show you Sheen's big lift. Here we go. So this is his comp. Before this, his biggest deadlift was 305. I think 300 or 305 in comp, and he actually missed 307 on grip. That competition, he missed 307. So we did a lot of grip work, a lot of positioning work. We changed his start position a lot. He used to start with really low hips on the deadlift, and now he doesn't. If you have a look here, 317. Beautiful deadlift that slows down at the knees, but because he's in such a good starting position, he can really grind through, get his hips through, use those powerful glutes he's got, and finish the lift. And there we go. The celebration at the end is one of the favorites I've ever seen. Look at him go. It's a little fist pump. But I was super proud here. That is like a 17.5 kilo PB after missing on grip and everything, with a lot of changes to his tech. And he absolutely smoked it. So I was super proud of him. Very strong guy. He's actually trying out wraps now. He's not definitely switching. He hasn't made the decision yet, but he's trying them out. And we'll see where he goes with his squat. I think his squatting in the low to mid 300s isn't going to be an issue for him next year. So there's your shout out, Sheen. I wanted to show everyone that 317. It was absolutely outstanding. All right, Luke Sutton. I keep hearing the cue for deadlifts to break the floor. Leg press to weight, but how do you... All right. I keep hearing the cue for deadlifts to break the floor. Leg press to weight, but how do you translate this to someone who has never leg pressed? I actually don't love that cue. Same as the push the world away from you cue. I'm not a fan of it. So, how does that translate? I don't really... It's about, using your legs as well as pulling up. But I just think that's a really poor way to explain it. Yeah. I like that you pull the slack out of the bar and everything, armpits over the bar. If you hit me up, Luke, if you hit me up on Insta with your deadlift video, I'm happy to break it down and go through some new cues with you. More than happy to help out there. I do think the, leg press to floor / push the world away is a pretty poor cue, because it tends to make people get their hips way too low and they end up squatting the weight and being in a really poor / compromised starting position. They end up sitting behind the bar, so then the hips shoot up. So hit me up on Insta, and I'll help you out as much as I can with your deadlift, and we'll work on some new cues. Always happy to help there. Or upload it to Google Drive right now if you're comfortable doing that. Send the link to me and we can go through it together on this stream. Alright, so much for the spleen. How many plus 400 deads at this year's Pro Raw? Do you think Sam Murphy can break Australian record? It's going to be really bad. I might know Sam Murphy by his Insta bio, Insta name, his Insta handle, but I'm not good with names, so I don't know about that one. But how many 400 plus deads at this year's Pro Raw? Let me think who's there. I'm going to have a crack at it if I feel good at 400. You know, Hell Regal will probably be up around that. So there's 2. Crozier, again, competing at 115, probably in good for a 400-ish or a bit over deadlift. So I'd say at least 3 or 4, or at least 3 or 4 cracks at it. It could be more though, but at a minimum, I reckon you have 3 or 4 of us going for 400 plus, which is ridiculous, right? Because this is mainly a national level competition. There's not a lot of international people coming, so that's huge. You know, the amount of people that have the potential to deadlift 400 in this country right now is just obscene, and something that we didn't even comprehend like 4 or 5 years ago. Found the channel, Travioli Reed. Found the channel from your Insta. Keep up the good content, mate. Thanks, brother. I'm really enjoying doing the YouTube, right? The YouTube content. So, you know, Danny's editing all the videos. She's doing really well with that. These live streams are something I want to do, you know, once every month or 2. I don't want to make them too consistent. Too often, because it's going to get in the way of actual good content that we're editing. But I do think it's really good for people to come in, ask some questions, and have some live chat with me and everyone else in the chat. So I appreciate that, man. We really love doing it. And it's going to keep coming. Like, I've had heaps of people saying they're loving seeing the content. They're loving seeing Aussies put out content. It's edited well. It flows well. So that's the goal. I think we need to work on getting the videos maybe a bit shorter, though. At the moment, they're all about 15, 20 minutes. And if we could knock that down to 12, that'd be good. Like that last cooking video, I realized afterwards, really could have been 2 videos. I just, you know, it needs to be long enough for people to watch it and get something out of it. And, you know, I don't want to cut it short and not be able to explain everything. But it doesn't need to be so long that people are just going to tune out, because they're going to miss out on a lot of good information from it. So I'm just trying to work around that now. Like, Danny's doing awesome editing. I think the content's going really well. We just need to find a way to make it a bit more bite-sized. But if you disagree, let me know if you like the longer stuff. Sheen said, thanks. Really appreciate it. Yeah, man. If you go follow, it's Sheen Kovacs on Instagram. The guy's an absolute workhorse. You know, this guy, he works full time. He's got a family, and he just gets in it and kills it 4 days a week. He trains in his garage most of the time, and he's an absolute beast. Steve Lift, sweet, 317. Same slow down as me, mate. But I'm a 200 and a bit lifter. Yes. Oh, yeah. He's talking about Sheen's deadlift here, 370.5. Same slow down as him as it gets to the knees, or just above the knees. But 200, Steve, man, that's still a good lift. And that was a massive PB for you. I watched your 200 kilo deadlift on Insta, and I was really impressed, man. Like, you know, you're pulling hook. You haven't been doing it for a super long time. So that's absolutely insane. You should be really proud of yourself. All right. Blockmaster 1000. Yeti. You should. I love the name Yeti, by the way. You should do a video of you training your family. I feel like it would be interesting to see what you could teach them. Real challenge for them, but gets them the motivation. I would be more than happy to do that. But my family's pretty camera shy, right? They're not used to being in front of the camera. They're not, you know, involved in this world. So, you know, I can ask him. If anyone would do it, it'd be my 24-year-old brother. And I'd be more than happy to do that, because it will show you how we coach an absolute beginner, right? My family don't lift, so especially, you know, my 24-year-old brother, he doesn't lift. So it'd be really good for people to see how you show an absolute beginner. And I think a family member would be more open to that. So that's something I'll reach out and ask him, but that's up to him. I can't force people to be on camera. But good idea. Steve asked, when is Pro Raw? 400 plus seems incredible. Pro Raw is November 6th and 7th this year, and it's going to be at the Exhibition Center, I'm pretty sure. Tony Doldy's running that new fitness expo style thing, and it's going to be there. There's going to be bodybuilders and everything there, but we'll be there over the 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. Luke Sutton, I like the idea of live form check on stream. Idea, viewers sending in videos of their lifts. Yeah, Luke, I'd be more than happy to do that. So, you know, it's something, if you have lifts available to you now, we can do that. You know, I've got it set up so I could do that right now. If you want to next time, we can set that up where I can put on my Instagram, hey, I'm going to go live. Let's do a segment where we break down people's lists and go through it. We can call it live coaching or something. I'd be more than happy to do that. I think that'd be really cool. People just need to be open to, one, having their list shared in front of people. At the moment, it's like 11 people, so it's not too intimidating. You know, we get more than that on Insta and stuff, but people watch it after the fact. And two, you need to be open to me giving form advice, you know, and that you might not agree on, but that's something we can talk about. This is what this is here for. Blockmaster asks, what do you reckon your family each would be able to lift. My oldest brother, I think he benched 140 once when he was lifting back in the day. 120 or 140. So he's pretty strong. And he only trained for about 8 months. Aside from that, like my sister, I don't know, she'd be pretty strong. I reckon we could get her up to a low 100 deadlift pretty soon. Pretty quick. Because she's been active for a long time, on and off. And then my younger siblings, they just have no interest in it. Like my 15 and 8-year-old sister, they have no interest. So I don't know. My brother is a beast though. So my 15-year-old brother is like 6 foot 1. He's 15 and he's like 90 kilos. So he's an absolute unit. I keep busting his balls saying, let's go to the gym. Let me train you. You'll be unstoppable. But he's not keen. Alright, Travioli Reed. Do you have any experience in dealing with the Federation APL, so Australian Powerlifting League? I'm lifting at their Vic States meet in 3 weeks. Time for my first sanctioned meet. I don't have any experience lifting in there, but I do know the people that do run it, and I do know a lot of people that lift it, and I'm actually talking to them a lot at the moment. They all seem like really, really down-to-earth people. The comps seem to run really, really well, and something I'm really liking, what's coming across as I talk to them more, and I talk to the people that, help run the Fed, and the people involved in it, and the lifters, they seem a lot more for the lifters than some other Feds. That's not ragging on any other federation, but they've all been run one way for so long, right? And it takes sometimes someone a little bit different to come in and change things up, change things from the norm, change things from how things have been done, since powerlifting came to Australia. So, from what I know about them, I really like them. I'm more than interested in competing with them next year. Something I'm really looking at. I need to learn to walk out my squats again though, but it's something I do want to do, is do a couple APL meets. Just the fact that they're putting up prize money at local, state, and national level comps. They're doing it at all three. Now, it might be $500 here and there, but there's no other Feds really doing that. And it's, how nice is it to get something from competing? Now, obviously $500 isn't going to pay the bills, but this is a sport most of us lose money on long term. And for them to come in and go, hey, even on the local level, we want people to walk away with something, help them cover expenses, travel, food, supplements, whatever it may be, equipment, is really cool. And I really like that idea. It's something I can really get around. So I'll probably be a little bit more involved with APL later in the year or next year. That's my big goal. Because anyone that's for the lifters, I'm going to support. I'm a lifter myself. I'm a coach. I want my lifters to be supported as much as possible. So I'm all in on supporting that Fed for that reason. The fact that they also, wraps, squat bars, and deadlift bars, I'm in. I would never compete on a power bar again. I couldn't. I don't like them for squats. They whip too much. They're not wide enough for me because I'm so immobile. But yeah, man, that'll be sick. Maybe I'll come down and watch if they're letting people come watch. Let me know when and where the comp is, and I'll be there, or I'll try to be there. How about that? Sheen said, best of luck at your first meet. Again, Sheen's a good guy, and yeah, good luck, man. You're gonna kill it. Like I said, hit me up with the details. I'll come down and watch. That'd be awesome. Kobe asks, what is your view on supplements? Good question. It depends on the supplement. I don't take protein or anything, just because I like to eat. I'm a big guy. Food is fuel. No, I just like to eat a lot. But supplements have their place, whether it be like health supplements, like vitamins and everything. Things like creatine really, really have a place. That they are, good for performance and general health. So, supplements are good. I think people rely a bit too much on things like protein and pre-workout. Now, I'm a fan of pre-workout, but if you don't have any pre-workout, it doesn't mean you need to have a shit session, right? And a lot of people seem to think that way. They rely on it more. But then, what do I take? I take curcumin every day. I take, metformin. That's more of a prescription. But I take that for health. I take vitamin D, 5,000 IU a day. Fish oil, NAC. I take melatonin every night. Magnesium, zinc. So I take a lot of supplements myself just for general health, and depending on what blood work's doing. They definitely have their place, and you can definitely utilize it to be not only a better lifter, but just to be healthier and a more complete lifter, right? So, like vitamin D, I don't get enough sun. A lot of us don't. We work inside, we work in offices, we're uni students, things like that. Get your bloods tested. There's a good chance you're probably low on vitamin D, and it's really important. So, no, supplements definitely have their place. I think they get a lot of hate, A lot of people are like, oh, you just rely on supplements, get it all through food, and it's just not realistic to get everything, all your micronutrients, all the nutrients you need through food. So I love supplements. If you actually go to iHerb, I just did an order today, right? $150 I paid. I ordered some stuff for a mate. $100. I ordered $50 stuff for a mate on iHerb. I'm not affiliated with them by any means, but $100 will get me enough health supplements, things like vitamin D, magnesium, and everything, to last me about 6 months. So super cheap compared to Australia. Better dosing, like the vitamin D I get is 5,000 IU. You can only get 1,000 in Oz. So really good pricing and really good doses, like clinically dosed. All right, Travioli's meet is in July 4th at Strength HQ. And he said, thanks to Sheen and Steve for the good lucks. All right, the Strength HQ headquarters, July 4th is APL State in Vic. I'll try my best to be there. That'll probably be a good meet. I haven't actually seen an APL meet here either. Like, they're really big in Queensland, but they're just starting more so down here. I know they're pretty big in WA in that as well. So it'd be really good to get through the door and support those guys with what they're doing and show that there's actually interest down here. So if you're from Victoria and you can make it, let's all head to Strength HQ July 4th. That's assuming they can have spectators, because we're, just coming out of lockdown down here. These are all really good, guys. I'm really enjoying this. Any feedback is much appreciated, as always. I just want to get better and better. Now, I've got another lift here I want to show everyone. Arno, I think that's his name, from... Where's he from? South Africa, I think. I don't know entirely. Please don't be offended. Someone that has followed me, and Arno. Someone that's followed me, and I've followed him for a long time on Instagram. Actually just PB'd his squat at 240 kilos. Absolutely massive squat. It's sleeved and walk out as well. And he's only 86.5 kilos. Look at this. The heart of this. Oh. It's a big grind. He actually hit 230 before this, really clean as well. So I'll show you that. But that's 240. Let's watch that again. That is massive at 86 kilos. I mean, that's massive at any weight, right? But absolutely outstanding lift there. A lot of heart on that. Let's rewatch that. I'll just go back to the start. This is something I like to do a lot of the time is, support lifters I know. Lifters, it's really easy to jump on the bandwagon of really famous, popular lifters. Something I think we need to do more of is share these lifters that aren't as well known, because they do train just as hard, just as much as those of us with bigger followings, and I don't have a massive following. But, they train just as hard as everyone else, and, that recognition is really, really good to get, right? It's a little bit of a reward. It's like, hey, I see you. You're doing really well. You're training hard. Like, keep at it. That's what I love to do. That's why I always like, comment, and message people whenever I see that they're putting in the work. Just like people do for me. And like you guys are doing now with this content. Beautiful. So deep as well. Like, a little bit of form breakdown here. That's not an issue, though, right? Like, you lift in maximal loads. Of course, there's going to be a bit of form breakdown. And this is his 230. Again, really nice 230. I'm just going to have a sip of this. Yeah, good lift. Like, again, tiny bit of tech breakdown, but not a lot. Nothing to be worried about. Absolutely outstanding lifting by Arno there. That's huge. He's been training for so long now, and he's just been like so consistent, and that's where you get your gains, right? In being consistent. Next question. Do you have a use by date in mind? How long do you feel you can keep training with intensity? And would you still do powerlifting after you peak? This is actually a really, really good question. It's something I talk about a lot with people I know and people I'm close with. Do I think I have a use by? Definitely. As bad as that sounds, like, we're all going to do a PB at one point, and it's going to be our last PB. It's not a nice thought, but we all end up there. So, do I have a use date in mind? A use by date in mind? A use by date, like I'm a piece of food. Look, I think I plan and I want to be, barring any big catastrophic injuries, I really want to be at my best in my mid-30s, right? Let's say 33 to 36, 37. I want to be at my strongest. I want to do my biggest total ever. Now, I might come before then. It probably won't come after then. So I reckon mid-30s will be it for me. I started lifting at 21. I did a little bit at 17 for a year. I started lifting again and properly at 21. So yeah, I reckon mid-30s for myself. Does that mean if I get to 38 and I'm still going well and I'm, setting PBs and that and I'm not getting injured all the time, does that mean I'm just going to up and call it quits? Well, no. Definitely not. But, there's a point where, the body can only take so much. The other thing we need to factor in is being untested is PED use. Do I want to be doing PEDs in my 40s or late 30s? No. You can abuse your body, whether it be lifting, whether it be through PEDs. Look at people that drink and do a lot of drugs, right? Do a lot of recreational drugs. You can abuse your body, and smokers. You can abuse your body a lot for a long time, but there's a point where it starts to give out. But if you smoke in your 20s and you stop at around 30, now this isn't advice, by the way. Don't just go start smoking or doing drugs. You can usually recover somewhat. You see a lot of people that end up having a lot of health issues. They keep pushing the envelope, whether it be lifting heavy, whether it be drugs or whatever it may be. They push it for as long as they can until their body just gives out through an injury. I don't plan to be on PEDs for 20 years. So, I factor that in as well to that question. So I reckon mid-30s, I won't be doing it in my late 30s or early 40s, I should say. I do, me and Danny, we want to have kids. I want to be around for her and my kids when we have them for a long time. So I will call it quits, late 30s, around 40, simply because I want to live, a somewhat healthy life after the fact. Now, I try to be healthy now, but just like there's no such thing as a healthy smoker, there's no such thing as a healthy PED user. Now, you could be healthy right now, but there's always going to be repercussions, and that's how people really need to look at it. It's a trade-off. Now, if you can get in and get out before you get a lot of those, some people are going to watch, like he doesn't know what he's talking about. That might be the case, but, your body can handle a bit of abuse only for so long. So that's my plan, to call it before, I get heart issues, before I get kidney issues, anything like that, or before I, tear my quad off the bone repeatedly. Will I still do powerlifting after I peak? So, in my 40s now, when I'm not at a high level, I will still coach. I'll still be involved in powerlifting. I'll still want to run comps. I'll still do things like that. Will I still compete? Probably not, because I'm a pretty competitive person with myself, not with other people, and I think it'd be a really hard pill to swallow. Now, I might, there's, a long time, there's 12 years or 10 to 12 years between now and then, so I very well might, but right now, I don't see myself, I see myself still being involved, but I reckon I'll train more for, I also don't, when I retire from powerlifting, I don't want to be 125 kilos, I'll come down to like 100, 95, 100, 105, a much more healthy weight, just because being heavy also isn't good for you long term, even if it, especially if it's muscle. So probably not. I'll probably focus more on just general health. I'll still train for strength and everything, still trying to be strong, still trying to be jacked. But yeah, that'll be, I'll probably step back from the competitive platform. Kobe, I'm 15 years old and I can only deadlift 60 kilos. Is that good for my age? Yeah, man. I don't know if you're male or female, but yeah, that is awesome. That's a really good starting point. Don't look at it as, is it a good or bad lift? Look at it as this is your starting point. Look at improving your form and just chipping away and increasing the weight over time. You're 15. Most powerlifters aren't at their strongest till their late 20s to mid 30s. So you've got forever now. I wish I started at 15. So don't look at it as, is it good or bad? Let's look at how we can improve it with form, long-term goals and everything like that. 60 kilos is really good. Don't let me take that away from you. But don't just look at the number on the bar. If you're doing 60 kilos with really good form, and smart training, you're already ahead of people that, are 15 or 16 deadlifting 100, 120 kilos with trash form, right? Because then they're going to have to go back and relearn everything, cementing good form over time. So you're already ahead if you're doing that with good form. So credit to you. That's awesome. That's a really, really good age to start at. That's great. I love to see that. I love young people in the sport. You guys are the future of the sport. Steve asks, federations, which one for someone looking at coming out of novice, 2022 looking at a proper comp meet? Honestly, it just comes down to personal preference. Obviously, with different feds, it depends. Depends if you can put up with politics in certain feds, but everyone's going to have some form of politics. I think you compete in wraps. So look, if I was you, I would go GPC for now. Not doing novice comps because you're in wraps. You like the deadlift bar and that. You deadlift on a deadlift bar simply because it's all the equipment you already use, and there's a lot of competitions in our area, right? I know where you train. So I don't think there's a best federation. I think there's a best for an individual, and that can be equipment, that can be access. So it's all good and well to say, hey, I want to lift, say, APU, which we're hosting comps for APU now. But if you have to drive 4 hours to do an APU comp, or you drive 20 minutes to do a GPC comp, well, there's your answer. Unless you really have goals of going, international in a certain fed and that, it really doesn't matter. Lift where you want to lift, how you want to lift, and whatever is most convenient for you. Don't be tied too much to most people don't be tied too much to, this fed does this, so I want to stay with them, or any political reasons. Most people just lift where their friends are and what suits their goals. Travioli asks, part of my ignorance, I don't know a lot about PEDs, being a natty soy boy, but can your body return to natural test levels again after being on gear for an extended period of time? So, first of all, people ask me a lot about PED questions, and I'll say the same thing that I always say to them. There are better people to answer these questions. I'm an untested lifter, I'm a coach, but I don't give people PED advice and everything because there's so much to it. And I don't want to have messing someone up on my conscience. But yeah, look, if you're dabbling in it, probably the longer you're on it, the less chance you have of coming back to complete normal. And that's just the reality of it, right? So, if you're, on PEDs for 10, 12 years, well, you're probably going to, even less than that. If you're on PEDs for a few years, you're probably going to be on TRT or have low test for a long time, unless you're really lucky. Again, though, it's not just, it's super individual, but you might, come off after a few years and be shot for a few years, and then it starts to come back up to normal for you. That's super individual, man. So there's no clear-cut answer to that. Again, I'll just say the longer you're on, the more the risk goes up, though. That's the thing. Because you're shutting down your own body's natural hormone production. The longer that's shut down, the less effective it's going to be in the future in a really easy way to explain. Again, there's people way better for this though. But yeah, that as far as I know and from what I know, and I'm not completely naive to them, that's the case. The longer you're on it for, the less chance you have of coming back to normal or being on TRT for life. That's why you see a lot of people that have been bodybuilders, powerlifters for a long time, they're on TRT forever. This is good, guys. I'm enjoying this. Probably won't go on for too much longer. Ooh, it's been 47 minutes. But this is great. No one's, if anyone, can someone do me a favor? If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube yet, can you? Because I'm trying to see if this little pop-up works. I got, where is it? Like down here. Should pop up and go, so-and-so subscribed. Maybe I can try it myself. Hold on. Let's see if it works. OBS. What's this thing called? Streamlabs. I worked really hard on this yesterday, so I'm actually really bad with computers and stuff. I try my best, but Sheen went through this the other day. I downloaded World of Warcraft, and I wanted to try it out. I'd never played it before, and it took me forever to set it up, and I had a mod to add on, for quests, and it took me ages to set up. All right, let's have a look if this works. I was stoked. It's like I got the little chat thing on the thing. Oh, it took me forever. Ah, it works. How good is that? That took me like 2 hours. Yeah, Daniel, man. So Daniel is one of the people that's used one of the recipes I put up in my video last week. Everyone's actually loving that. I've had now it's like 14, 15 people as of today message me saying they're trying the recipe out. It's really good. It's really easy. Full of, vegetables and everything. Easy to make, very low maintenance. And that's what we're all about, right? Convenience. Yeah, we all want to be big and jacked, but we don't want to be spending hours in the kitchen. So I'm glad you're making it. Let me know how you go, man. All right, and if the questions are slowing down now, guys, I'll give you a couple more minutes to get them all in, and then I'm going to call it. Actually, before everyone goes, though, people have been busting my balls to get Yeti shirts out for ages, with that Yeti squatting that Danny drew. And now Danny is taking control of that because I'm hopeless. and I'm pretty tied up with like coaching and that a lot of the time. So Danny's actually making the shirts now. So we've actually ordered two. We ordered a crop top for her and a normal shirt for me. We're going to see what the quality is like. We got a digital print instead of, what's it called? There's digital printing and there is screen printing. So we're doing digital print because it's more cost effective. I don't want to be charging people $40 for a shirt. And it's also easier to get out. And we can do runs of all, so you don't need to pay for the initial screen. And the initial screen is like $70 to $100 per color. There's like 7 colors in it, 8 colors in it. So next week, as soon as we get the shirts, as long as they're really good quality, they're AS color, as long as the print is good quality, we're going to upload that on a website we're making for it. So the shirts will be available in the next week to 2 weeks maximum. And Danny's organizing that, so now you know it'll get done. So get hyped for that. Yeti merch is incoming. Peter, yeah, keen for a shirt. I think heaps of people are, man. I've had so many people ask for them, and I've let everyone down with it. And I sat down with Danny, and she was like, maybe she should just organize it because it'll actually get done in a timely manner. Also, because we're doing digital prints, Danny's very creative. Danny sits there on her iPad a lot, drawing. She has all these ideas from with lifting related. She made one from the movie Legally Blonde about Band and Snap with a lifter in it. Really cute design. So she's actually going to do a few different things. We won't release them too often, but once every 2-3 months, we might release a new design or something. Keep the old ones as well, though, because the way the screen shirts were going to work, we were going to have to do a limited run. But now the Yeti shirts will be up there long term, so people can just buy them whenever they want. And any new ones we make as well can be just up there, and people can buy them whenever they want, which is going to be awesome. Daniel asks, you watch World's Strongest Man? If you do, who you reckon will be this year's? Do I watch it? So it's actually, you'd know yourself being in Australia, it's actually really hard to access World's Strongest Man in Australia. But I do stay up to date as much as I can with strongman stuff, like on Instagram and that. I love watching the sport. Like, I'll never do the sport. I do love watching it though, because it's just so amazing what these guys and girls can do. Not only are they strong, they're relatively fit for such big people. The loading is just, stones and sandbags and that is just ridiculous to watch. So no, I love it. I don't know who's going to win though. I know there's been a shift in the last couple of years of strongman. A lot of the people that were in it for a long time are now leaving because they're getting older, and your body can only deal with that for so long. So I don't know who I think is going to win. What's it? Is it Iron Bibi or something? He's a beast, man. I don't think he'll win, but he's amazing at pressing. I'm interested to see, though, because I know, again, there's been a shift. There's a lot of new names in strongmen now, because a lot of the older ones have left or stopped or retired or they're injured. So it will be interesting. Sheen's going with Oleski, Stoltman, and Shaw podium. Yeah, Stoltman. He is strong. Is that Luke? Or that Luke guy from England, yeah? Is that his name? The young guy, he left the IPF. He totaled like 1,000 or whatever in the IPF as a junior. He's a beast. And I'm really interested in the Giants Live deadlift only coming up. Karu the deadlifter. Oh, let's have a look at that, hey? Karu the deadlifter, man. This guy, you'd all know him. Karu, I don't know how to say his name exactly. This guy is just, like, I feel like he's just come out of nowhere. His social media is exploding. Yeah, his name's Asko. Again, I'm probably butchering that. First of all, have a look at this guy. So he is just... Oh, Luke Richardson. I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Thanks, Shane. Yeah, he's also a beast, though. Yeah, this guy is just... You'd all know him. Is just an absolute freak. I'm talking about deadlift only now, but if anyone's going to have a crack at the 505 and make it pretty clean, it's him. Look at him, man. Look at his arms. Look at the size of him. But he's done most of it. At the moment, he's got a... he's messed his ankle up a bit, but look at this. 468 deadlift for a double. No suit or anything. Stiff bar. I don't know where he came from. I've actually been messaging him a bit. He seems to be a really nice, down-to-earth guy. But look at that, 468 for a double. What? And out of nowhere. I mean, look, I don't know if the audio is going to blast your ears here. Sorry if it does. But I just want to hear it. Oh, there's no audio. Oh, there we go. It's very... Oh, he does it quiet. There's no shenanigans. Look at this. Yeah, he's a beast. So I just can't wait to see him deadlift, because he's just starting to train in the suit. He doesn't use a deadlift bar, and look how pretty his deadlifts are. Like, he did like a 480 something recently. Look at this, 475 for 2. He's just a freak, man. Man, and his form is so clean. You know, we see a lot of hitching and ramping in strongman. It's part of the sport. It's allowed. But look how clean his deadlift is. Like, there's no ramping. There's no hitching or anything. Such a beautiful deadlifter. I can't wait to see him compete. You know, there's a few big deadlifters out at the moment. But yeah, like, he's just a freak, man. He's a big dude, too. Look, he's beefy as. I love watching his Q&As because people always ask what he does for accessories and he doesn't really do them. Oh, look, a 502 trap bar. I haven't seen this one. It's a throwback, so this is ages ago. Alright, let's have a look. 505. This is the last one. Oh, 502 on the trap bar. This is a throwback, though, so he's a lot stronger now. Yeah. Alright, lift it now, mate. Come on. There we go. Beautiful. Trap bar, obviously not a normal deadlift. But anyway, the point was, I think, you know, I can't wait to watch him compete. That's as far as my strongman's going at the moment, though. Staying up to date is all the deadlifters, which is cool. Yeah, the Yeti shirts, they're going to be good, Steve. I'm really, really excited for them. And Daniel says, I reckon not this comp, but in the future, he'll be the 505. Yeah. Whether it happens now, he seems to have a really good mindset, which is important. He, you know, people always ask him if he's going to do 505 at Giants Live this year, and he always says, we'll see on the day, and if not, then one day, right? Again, really down to earth, really good mindset because he's not rushing himself, or it doesn't, from what his presence on social media shows that he doesn't rush himself, which is good. Realistic expectations are super important. This has been awesome, guys. All right. Last chance to get some questions in, and then I'm going to go. Thanks heaps for watching. Like I said, Yeti shirts are coming within the next week or two. As soon as we get our shirts, as soon as that's done, and if they're good quality, bang, they'll be up there for everyone to order. When you get them, let me know what you think. Share them around. I'm super excited for it. A lot of people wanting to get in on those. And then we'll add more to that in the future. Next week, I'll either have a training vlog out on Sunday. So it'll either be a training vlog from this week. But, you know, Danny's back to work now, so it's a bit hard because I rely on her to film and edit. She can edit, and that's about syncing up times now for her to come and film. And then, or ideally, if I get in tomorrow, because she doesn't work tomorrow, I'll show you how easy it is to get an ultrasound and everything. I just want to show people how accessible this stuff is in Australia. It's cheap, it's easy to do, and there's, you know, you can't put a price on your body. You know, you can't put a price on your body. You only get one. So if it's, you know, going 20 minutes out of your way to get an ultrasound and make sure you're not going to hurt yourself when you go back to squatting or deadlifting, benching, whatever it may be, do it, right? This is something I see a lot of people that go, oh, it's feeling good, I won't do it. Yeah, you need it. You only get one body, right? And when you wreck it, people will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to get back on top. It's a lot easier to prevent being that injured than it is to come back from being that injured. Yeah, Sheen. Speaking of shirts, still waiting for you to pay up on that bet. All right. Sheen and I had a bet. I think it was... he did an AMRAP on squats once, and he got like 11 reps on 250 or something. Something stupid. Was it 225 or 250, Sheen? And I told him if he got it, I'd wear a soy shirt with a Jack soybean. As soon as Danny draws it, I'll get it, and we'll order it, and I'll wear it. I can't wait. I'm actually excited to wear a soy boy shirt with a Jack soybean. All right, legends. That is it for today then. I'll do another one of these pretty soon. Yeah, 15 reps at 215. Sorry, not 250. I knew there was a 5 in there. I will do another one of these in probably, you know, about 6 to 8 weeks. You know, like I said, I don't want to make them all the time because I do like putting out proper content on YouTube. Not that this isn't proper. A lot of work went into setting this up. But just normal videos, like vlogs and informative videos. But I will do these and probably with more people next time. Oh, look, Danny's watching. She said she's on it. She's drawing the Jack soybean. I'll probably have a soybean shirt in a week or two as well. Hey, if people love it, we'll make them available for you guys. The other thing is with the shirts, the company we're going through, we're not taking a big profit margin or anything. I just want people to have shirts that they want. It's a bit of fun. You know, I love that people want to get behind the Yeti brand. It's been so much fun. Let me actually show you So I'll show everyone just before I go. Danny is making an Instagram named Mrs. Yeti. And she's actually going to be showing you a lot of the, just general day stuff. Like she'll take stories and that of what we do or just how I'm chilling and that. It'll be her Instagram, but it'll be a different look at from her eyes what my life's like and what her life's like living with me, right? That's where we'll put the shirts up and everything as well. I'll still put them on my social media, obviously. But it's going to be really cool because you're going to see our life, my life, from her eyes a lot more, which I'm really excited for. But she drew this really, really cute... Oh, Danny, the photo isn't there. Let me see if it's on my phone. She drew this really cute Yeti. Just let me show you real quick. I'm very proud of her. I can't find it. Danny. Oh, she's uploading it now. I just want to show everyone this little Yeti thing she got. She drew. Here we go. And then I'm going. There you go. Mrs. Yeti with the camera. That's going to be her Instagram thing. The old Mrs. Yeti with the camera. It's super cute. I love it. And that's going to be her little image and that, so you can recognize her. And that's where we're going. We're actually expanding now, and we're making, content from all angles. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Awesome, guys. Thanks heaps for joining in. I appreciate everyone's love and support. Honestly, like, my socials have been getting pretty big, exploding a bit at the moment, and people are, talking to me a lot. I'm really enjoying it because, I like to know people are watching and I'm enjoying making it. What's the word I'm looking for? My engagement has been huge. And by that, I don't mean about stats. I mean, I've got so many people messaging me about videos. They're having fun with them. They're getting something from them. And that's what's important to Danny and I. So thanks heaps for supporting it, guys. I appreciate you all. I'll talk to you next time. You're the best.